By the way, randomly, and this is not necessarily a Drake-ish thing, right? This is not like a Drake-ish thing. Hey, could I get like a check? And by the way, Stu talking about, yo, there's a lot of you know where my chat queens are coming from is not Facebook, YouTube. Like they're crazy. By the way, that's why I shout out Felicia on our Facebook just now. Not Facebook. I mean, fuck YouTube. We do stream on Facebook too though. Can we get an age check of everybody in here? Like, just spam your age. Like, if you don't want to spam your age, just say, are you in your 20s, 30s? Are you in your teens? And the reason why I ask that is because of that donation that was sent earlier where someone says, yo, they believe that Drake is having issues with becoming older. And, you know, as I was thinking about it, I'm like, what? No. You know what I mean? Like, shit. I remember for the longest, you got to remember, think about me, right, bro? I started like this YouTube shit, like early 20s, my guy, right? So I'm early 20s, I'm doing this. And I've always been known as, yo, Ak is like the biggest outlet connected to the youth, connected to the youngest, like, artists that feeds a fan base of kids. At a point, I was always going to be 30, right? And you know, mentally I had to realize, like, hey, listen, your job is just to be natural with yourself. So if you're still listening to drill music at 70, it is what it is. I don't really look at age like that. But age in talk media is way different than age in hip hop, right? Like, for example, I hope y'all still listen to me when I'm 50, right? But I don't think my age being 50 will matter that much as long as I'm being fair and as long as I'm being youthful. Like if I'm still listening to that shit, I'm whatever. In rap, it's almost like a death sentence, right? Like a rapper's age is like a woman hitting 30. It's like proverbially, right? Like, you know how sometimes dudes act like when women are hitting 30, like they're about to die? Well, you got no kids, you hitting 30? It's like, yo, like you're on a time clock, right? And I'm wondering, does Drake really have an issue, or is he thinking about aging like that? And you know what clip came to mind? Do y'all remember the interview he did with Yachty? Drake Yachty. Let's go, Drake Yachty. Oh, this interview. It was a moody conversation. There's a part in the conversation where age is kind of brought up. And I remember Drake was just like, oh shit. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, somebody get me the timestamp. It was basically, it was a slight exchange between them, and it was just kind of like, it made it obvious that Drake was like, oh shit, I'm like, yo, dog, I'm like way older than you type shit, you know what I mean? And, you know, if you ever listen to music, like, for example, I listen to dance, so there's this brilliant artist called Alkaline, right? Came in the game really young. His thing was, I was the youngest. He's like, I'm the youngest in charge. Okay, that was like 8 years ago. Now he's like 27 or 26 going into 30. That's no longer his thing. And he has to kind of mold because that was his brand. He's the youngest and the hottest. Like, by the way, even Youngboy. Like, Youngboy was like, that was kind of part of his brand. That he's this young kid who's really competing with these older vets. Does anybody have a timestamp for me? Yeah, somebody says Future is almost 40. I think Future doesn't make it a thing. You get what I mean? Future doesn't, like, his music, if Future was making the same music at 50, I don't think I would care. Right? Like, put like this. Lil Durk, if you never knew that Lil Durk was, like, how old is Lil Durk? If you never knew Lil Durk was Lil Durk age. If you never knew, yo, Durk is 30. If you just listen to the content of his music, you would definitely think Durk is like 24, 25. Do you get what I mean? So, could somebody give me the timestamp though? Please give me that timestamp if you can. So, again, I guess I'm coming back to the conversation of, you know, I don't know if you guys are in entertainment. So, you know, if you're working a regular job, like, growing older is probably just not that a bad thing. Obviously, if you're a woman, there's certain type of societal pressures that, you know, it almost kind of make it feels like you're devalued because you're older or you're 30 plus. But, like, you know, dudes, for the most part, like, them aging doesn't really matter that much. Actually, it's probably a benefit because they making more money. And nobody kind of looks at like a cap of what you could do in terms of your job. Think about if you work a regular job. The person probably getting paid the most, been there the longest, probably one of the oldest. It's fine. It is what it is. But in hip-hop, it's so centric on the youth that it's the only place where people, like the majority of hip-hop artists, initially coming into the game lie about their age, right? It's like normal. Yo, cut a couple years off that you could keep a couple years on later, right? Or you try to hang with younger people, or you just try to seem youthful. You do surgeries to keep that younger physique. You see Diddy in them. Diddy, have you seen Diddy in the pandemic? He's completely gray. Diddy now, he's not walking around with that gray shit. Like, his shit is, him and Khaled, they're going to be still trying to look youthful, at least in their 30s. They don't want to be looking like a 50-year-old man, right? Somebody said start at 23. Thank you for that. 23. Here we go. Somebody said, nah, go to 6:15. Oh, y'all just trolled me now. Oh, Drill says it's 8:05. Oh, y'all just trolled me. It's 8:05. All right, I know Drill not gonna troll me. To go back to that comment via the donation, like, I've never thought about that when it came to Drake. Like, does Drake kind of, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, truthfully. You see, when Nicki start doing the little things and I need to get at Nicki, I remind her that she's a grandma. I know. I hit her with the age thing because, and by the way, play this. People could say to me, accurate, yo, you're in your 30s, my nigga. Bruh, I'm a media personality. My age does not matter, okay? Listen, when I'm 50 and I'll be like, you're 50, I'm like, okay, the fuck? I'm a media personality. As a rapper, it does. Anytime when I'm getting at Nicki, I hit her with the age. Bang! Yo, menopause is around the corner. Yo, shorty, like, come on, man. Like, yo, auntie, right? I do that. I definitely do that. But I've never thought about Drake having to, like, because I think for women it's more of that than men. But listen to Drake kind of like, deal with the age question. Which, by the way, is a very common tactic, right? Like, I know, yeah, I like your act, bro. Like, yo, you just be giving it to Nicki. And I'm not trying to pick on her. But, I always say that about, I'm pretty sure Nicki now wishes she didn't shit on Lil' Kim for age, right? Didn't basically call her old and washed up, right? Because as you eventually, like, you can't avoid it. Like, you can't avoid aging unless you're going to die young, right? So even Drake is kind of having those same things. And by the way, like, I don't know if you know the rapper The Game. The Game was just like, yo, I think he had this line. I don't know who he was dissing. Was it Jay? It's like, yo, you 35 and still rapping. It was like, it was a big deal to be rapping past 35. Chat, there's another part in here. Y'all could tell me the timestamp. Drill, try to get the timestamp for me. It's where, like, Yachty reminds him, like, how old is Yachty? Yachty told him, like, yo, he's like 24. And he was like, damn, you're young. Like, Lil Yachty age. Yeah, it's like, I guess at the time, Yachty was 25. And Yachty, like, reminds him of his age. Because, like, I guess we're having a conversation and, like, something was said that kind of went over the other's head. And Yachty reminded him of the age. Do you get what I mean? And he was like, oh, shit, you're fucking, like, you're young as shit. This is such an interesting reaction because Yachty kind of side-eyes him. Like, because Yachty's younger. Yachty's like, nah, it is kind of cooler to be young, right? like, look. It's interesting where Drake is kind of, like, looking for a little bit of a, he's looking for, like, a little bit of a, oh, yeah, nah, it's not, yeah, it ain't nothing about being in your 20s. You can see, like, that's like a look of, yo, are you going to validate what I'm thinking? And Yachty's kind of like, just watch. Somebody says, Ak, why are you so fascinated about age? The reason why I'm having this conversation, I think that's the personal jab that Drake felt from Joe. Joe essentially said to Drake, bro, you're an old man who should be acting his age, rapping his age, hanging around people his age, and also fucking women of your age. That's where the personal beef got in. And then there was someone who sent a donation in to say, do you think Drake has a problem with aging? And I said, I've never thought that before. But if I had to think of him dealing with that subject, it brought me back to this video. And this is the video where, Yachty, who's 10 years younger than him, kind of brings it up. and they have like an interesting exchange, and I don't know. Nah, I think that's acting though. I think that's just content. I think that's content, but I do think that kind of like hits him a little bit. You get what I mean? Like chat. Be honest with me. I think it's more content than whatever, but I do think, you know, they always say there's a truth in every joke. I do. Maybe Drake is like, I'm still like Drake's nickname is the boy, right? I'm still the boy, right? I'm not the man. I'm the boy. Does it feel? I don't know. Drake, yo. Let me tell you this. This is when you hit your 30s. This is what you tell niggas in their 20s, because you know you can't get your 20s back. Yo, I can't wait till you get to 30, nigga. I can't wait till you get to 30, nigga. This was a great interview. This wasn't a hip-hop interview, but it was a great life interview. By the way, Yachty, good job for this one. This was a great life interview. I like this joint. All right. So, yeah, I mean, I think some of that, again, some of Drake's comments, no, not Drake, Joe's comments came off as, yo, you're the old dude in hip hop trying to blood suck the youth for the wave. Or, you know what I mean? You're the old creepy guy pulling up in your fucking car at the high school trying to pick up a girl. You know what I mean? Like one of those types. And I get why personally you would be offended by that, because it's not only like, definitely it's age shaming a little bit, but it's kind of making you seem like you're a fucking creep, right? Or like you're just like, you're doing some shit wrong. And, according even what Drake said, yo, bro, like the niggas is making shit up. Like these are not real things. Like, again, I think we see Drake with Yachty and we probably think that Drake is hanging out with like Yeet and Yachty and the rest of them. For whatever reason, Drake fucks with Yachty, right? But do I think he's not hanging out with like the normal dudes he normally hangs with? I think he's all hanging with them. All right, anyway. Oh, wow. Chivalry, thank you for the 10. He says, yo, I'm a huge fan. I flew from Florida and I saw you in Jersey. I was so starstruck to say anything. I was with Coach Ice. Is it Coach Ice or Coach Cheese? Salute him, by the way. He said, just want to say I think you do phenomenal with stand-up comedy. I can't wait to see you more. That was a very nice comment. I appreciate you. If you came to my first show ever, I really was trying to slip some stand-up in there. And if you ask me, like even at the next show that we're kind of planning, I want to do two 15-minute sets, because obviously we're definitely gonna have music performers and other things, but I want to do a nice little 15, right? Bring some people on, keep the energy up. We're gonna do another 15, okay? So I'm trying my hand at the comedy stuff, but of course I'm gonna try it with y'all. You know what I mean? If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, shit, I'll just fucking host and bring people on stage. It don't matter. Okay. Great. Chris Jones, thank you for the 2. He says, Drake needs to kick Yachty the fuck out of the OVO lab. I think Drake he definitely takes offense at people criticizing his relationship with Yachty. Let me see if I could pull this up. This is what he said. Let me see. Give me a second. Is it this? No. Give me a second. Right here. Okay. This is what he said about Yachty. He said, and by the way, I think he said this on a radio show, so this is really from the radio show. He says, I don't think this album is what it is if I don't get to run everything by you. He's talking about Yachty. If I don't get to sit in the studio and write with you and think with you, and if you don't send me beats, and if you don't tell me what you believe in or don't believe in, the realest shit you can get is somebody that cares about you enough to tell you their real opinion. By the way, Yachty has credits on 5 out of 23 of the tracks. Obviously, he's pretty much 5 out of 21 because 2 are interludes. And, I think the friendship with Yachty and Drake is very interesting, because it's not only, I enjoy being around this guy. It's, yo, this guy is helping me with music, right? Okay. Anyway, let's kind of move this along a little bit. We listened to the Joe Budden thing already, but of course, nothing could be complete. And by the way, the last thing on Agent again, you know what I mean? Again, if you're asking me why I'm bringing up Agent, I'm bringing it up because rappers, especially female rappers, are always insecure about it. And at times in history, people have aged out rappers. I remember when people start calling what Jay-Z was rapping grandpa raps. Like, oh, grandpa. I used to call him Grandpa Hove. And once people start using your age against you, no matter what you say, it's kind of like, for example, like Meek Mill, right? People are using the fact that they've seen him in some of these situations that don't happen to be streets, and they now perceptive-wise don't think he's in the streets anymore. They use it against him to shame him. So he could spit the hottest shit about him being in the streets, and people just won't believe it. Because a lot of hip-hop is perception, right? It's perception whether they think you're living that life. It's perception if they think it's coming from a truthful place. It's perception if they believe that what you're saying is actually emblematic of what's going on outside. And unfortunately, it's age-based as well. You get what I mean? Anyway, his father, so Dennis Graham, actually chimed in about this whole conversation, and he said, it's a fucking shame that a young artist can't do his own thing and enjoy his glory without a old hater motherfucker trying to bust his bubble because he has nothing going on. And to mention or put a limit on what age anyone should be dealing with, which is none of his goddamn business, as long as they're of legal age. So basically saying any woman he wants to fuck with, as long as they're legal age, is fine. He says, I am sick of these old fucking haters fucking with my son. If you don't like what he does, keep it moving, motherfucker. He's not bothering you. Okay? All right, then. Now,